Dialed in for a big game here on MediaCom MC22, and we're chatting with head coach and general manager Derek Damon, chatting a little Heartlanders and Toledo Walleye here on a beautiful Saturday in the Iowa River Landing. And Derek, hey, going against a team like Toledo is tough, but there have been moments where the Heartlanders have shown why these games are winnable. What are a few of those moments or things that you've seen the team do over the last couple games that proved that to you?
Yeah, I mean, if we stick to our game plan, which we've got to be a team that can't turn pucks over against this team. As soon as you turn pucks over against Toledo, they're going to come the other way, and they're coming usually with 4 or 5 guys. They love to jump into the offense, and so it's imperative tonight that we have extra focus on making sure that we put pucks behind them, put them down by their goal, and make sure that we're hitting them as much as we can tonight.
Last night, Heartlanders gave up the first 4, but then all of a sudden a switch kind of flipped. Who were some of the drivers behind the switch flipping last night?
Yeah, Yuki Mura really turned it on and showed the type of character that he has. He just kind of almost willed us almost coming back, and we had a chance to tie it up to make it 4-4, but weren't able to do it. But the way he put the team on his back there and pulled us back into that game was quite impressive.
And from his side, he himself would say he has pretty good skill, but it's not like he has the highest end skill in the league. But the way that when you say he willed the team back in, what are some attributes that Yuki has that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the small battles that he wins. He's not going to lose the puck. He protects the puck really well. He doesn't get knocked off the puck. He'll go in there and he'll make sure he's hitting. That's somebody that I can always count on to make sure that he's getting a bump on their guys, and then he's doing the little things right where he's not turning the puck over. He's getting the puck out of our end, not turning it over high in our end that ends up back near our net or in our net. And so that's the type of leadership that we're looking for right now. And going forward, just impressed with how well he's been playing.
One of the other things that I think really speaks to Yuki's testament is obviously he's been a leader here almost since the start.
Yeah.
But there's something about a guy that's been here since the very start himself, Hunter Jones, that it maybe brings a little bit more credence to the mission you're trying to build here. Having a player, whether it's Yuki, any team in the league, when they have a guy that's 3-4 years deep with the team, what does that say about that player and sort of what the organization's all about?
Yeah, I mean, he's invested. He's invested in the community. He's invested in our organization. He wants to see the success of our organization going forward. And when you do that, when you're invested, you're bought in, you're willing to go the extra mile and do whatever it takes to win. And you see that with Yuki, how he comes to the rink every day, how he shows up, prepares for his craft. It's not just on the ice, it's off the ice, how he trains, how he's eating. He's an unbelievable human being. We're very fortunate to have him, and going forward, he's a guy that you can really build around.
We're talking to Peyton Jones at the next intermission. He just got recalled, so we talk a little bit about his path this year and what it's like with some of the up and down stuff, as well as a little bit about his family. Again, that's during second intermission, but this opens the door with Hunter Jones still sidelined for Drew DeRitter to have a couple big games potentially here in a row to end the season. For him, this sort of a reward, all of a sudden, number one goalie working his way up. What do you have to say about Drew and the way he's bought in this season as well?
Yeah, I mean, he for a goalie, for me, when I see a goalie, I see a guy that, he's level-headed, he stays even-keeled, regardless of the situation. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, just stays nice and composed all the time, and that's what you think of when you think of Drew DeRitter. He's a guy that shows up to work a lot like Yuki Mura, does his work, takes care of himself on and off the ice. And he never gets too high and he never gets too low. He just goes about his business. He knows what he has to do to be a successful goalie in this league and be a successful teammate for us, and he does that. And so now that he's gotten the opportunity to really run with this, it's good to see.
Last one I got for you on a lighter mood, which is that, in minor league hockey, there's always some random situations that arise, and that's one of them that's happened to the Heartlanders. First time, actually, since the inaugural year, Heartlanders have an e-bug tonight, and it happens to be the equipment manager, Greg Angus, on the short timeline to find a backup. The Heartlanders have Greg Angus doing it, so he's been the fireman this year. He's done a lot of different things. But, for a guy like that, even to step in a moment of need, what does that make you think about?
Well, I mean, it's a challenging, our league especially is tough. You know, you lose guys, and nothing is ever safe. You lose guys in the drop of a hat, and that's just part of our business. And you try to scramble, but you know, it's not easy to get a guy in on such short notice, especially a goalie. And so in this case, that we had to come up with a goalie that, you know, at the last minute, and Greg was able to step up and fill the void. And so, yeah, we're just happy that we've got Drew Ritter in that tonight. But I mean,
Greg would say that too.
Yeah.
Derek, thanks again for a few minutes.
Thanks.
Going to take a timeout. We'll be right back and continue our coverage of Iowa Heartlanders hockey right here on MediaCom MC22.